There's a moment in every broken marriage that feels like standing at the edge of a quiet cliff. Not because you want to jump, but because you finally understand that something precious has already fallen. And often, it isn't dramatic. Sometimes, it's the softest moment, the kind that whispers instead of shouts. Today, we'll explore that moment many people describe as the quiet realization. I knew my marriage was over when... This is not about blame, shame, or pointing fingers. This is about the human heart. How it notices things long before we admit them aloud. And how, in the middle of hurt and confusion, we can eventually find peace again. Section 1. The moment that doesn't feel like a moment. People imagine the end of a marriage as a dramatic explosion. But for most, the truth is quieter. It's waking up next to someone who used to feel like home, and realizing you feel more alone than you did when you were single. It's walking past each other in the hallway, noticing how the silence has replaced the old laughter. And somehow, that silence feels heavier than anger. It's the night you look at the person you once wanted to grow old with, and something inside you whispers, "We're not on the same path anymore." That whisper becomes the beginning of a truth you can't unknow. Section 2. When love stops feeling safe. One of the clearest signs people share is this: I didn't feel emotionally safe anymore. Not unsafe in a dramatic or dangerous way, just unheld, unseen, unheard. Maybe your wins stop feeling celebrated. Maybe your fears stop feeling understood. Maybe the person who once wiped your tears now feels like a stranger watching from the doorway. There is a specific kind of heartbreak that comes when the person who was supposed to protect your heart becomes the person it needs protection from. And that's usually when the inner shift begins. Section 3. When the partnership becomes one-sided. Another common moment is the realization that you're carrying everything: the emotional weight, the responsibilities, the planning, the effort, the apologies, the compromises, all of it. You wake up one day and realize, this isn't a marriage anymore, it's a survival partnership. When you're the only one fighting to keep the connection alive, the relationship starts to feel like a house you're rebuilding alone, while the other person watches from the porch. That's often when the heart quietly breaks, not from anger, but from exhaustion. Section 4. The day you stop trying to make them understand. Most marriages don't end when the last argument happens. They end the day the arguing stops, because one person stops believing change is possible. It's that moment when you swallow your feelings instead of sharing them. Not because you're scared, but because you already know the reaction you'll get. That emotional resignation, that silence, is one of the deepest signs the foundation has already crumbled. When the heart stops trying, the relationship starts closing its doors. Section 5. The moment of truth. For some, the moment comes during a fight. For others, during a family event. For many, it's just an ordinary day. It's seeing another couple holding hands and realizing you haven't felt that closeness in years. Or hearing a friend's story and recognizing how much you've been minimizing your pain. Or waking up one morning and finally telling yourself a truth you've been avoiding. I don't want to live like this anymore. It isn't a moment of hate. It's a moment of clarity. A moment when you realize you deserve a life that doesn't feel like drowning in slow motion. Section 6. The guilt, the fear, the grief. Even when you know the marriage is over, your heart doesn't immediately follow. There's guilt. Did I try hard enough? Will they hate me? What will this do to our family? There's fear. Can I rebuild my life? Will I ever be loved again? And there's grief, not just for the marriage, but for the version of you who once believed it would last forever. It's okay to feel all of this. It's human. It's normal. It's part of healing. Section 7. What healing actually looks like. Healing doesn't begin the day the marriage ends. It begins the day you choose honesty over fear. Healing is not quick, not clean, not predictable. It's rediscovering your voice after years of speaking softly. It's remembering what joy feels like. It's learning to breathe without feeling watched. It's taking back parts of yourself you gave away too easily. And most importantly, it's understanding that ending a marriage doesn't mean you failed. It means you stopped abandoning yourself. If you're watching this because you're going through something similar, please hear this. You deserve a connection that feels like warmth, not coldness. Curiosity, not judgment. Teamwork, not loneliness. Whatever moment brought you clarity, that moment was not the end of your story. It was the beginning of a new chapter where you finally choose yourself. And that choice, as painful as it is one of the bravest things a person can do. If this video helped you feel seen even a little bit, don't forget to subscribe for more gentle, heart-focused insights. Your healing matters, your future matters, and you matter more than you know.